Hello and welcome to a video on the benefits of yoga and breathwork. I've already gone a little into how yoga and breathwork can build strength, resilience and self-awareness. But I thought another video was needed to go a little bit deeper into the juicy info around the benefits. So enjoy. Get your curiosity piqued, and here we go. So yoga and breathwork, powerful practices that you can do anywhere, which I love. So they're super flexible practices in that respect. And they can affect change physiologically, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually in seconds. So they are superpowers, all of themselves. From an immunity perspective, they are a big thumbs up. Breathwork. So if you think about the heart, it's a pump. It's a pump that enables our circulatory system to optimally function. Our lymphatic system within our immune system does not have a pump. What breathwork does, what postures and yoga do, is it supports the movement of lymph fluid around our body. Think inversions, think twists. Breathwork also does the same, particularly when we're breathing, doing deep diaphragmatic breathing, which we'll get into in the breathe section of Into the Fold. But deep breathing right down in this part of the chest, so diaphragmatic here, right back to the spine, massaging the lymphatic system, and also enabling most efficient exchange of gases to take place lower part of our chest. So deep breathing is super powerful. But again, you will learn all of this within Into the Fold. So that exchange of gases, that is getting more oxygen all around the body, more oxygen, less tension, more relaxation, flushing oxygen up into the mind, fresh blood, oxygenated blood up into the mind. So inversion. So when you come into ragdoll, into uttanasana, really simple pose that I absolutely love. Just that alone can be really powerful for relieving mental fatigue and just giving new perspective, new energy. Processing of emotion, processing of stress. For those who already know me, and if you don't, you'll get to know this about me, I love a book called The Body Keeps the Score. It was the start of a deepening of knowledge and understanding around the body and how the body holds stress patterns, holds trauma, the big T and the little t, holds emotion. A book that's written by Bessel van der Kolk. It'll be in the resources section as well. But what yoga and breathwork together does as a practice is it brings us into the present. And when we're in the present, when our body and our mind, our whole being, when that feels safe, then we are in a position to be able to process emotion, to feel brave enough to sit with feeling, to sit with sensation, and to enable it to then release and let go. Through movement, tension and stress patterns are released and not held, where they can show up later in all kinds of ways that we may not want them to and certainly don't expect. Within Into the Fold, there'll be some yin yoga, which really gets into those stress patterns. Yin is a practice that focuses on the fascia that wraps around all of our muscles and our organs. It's what created our form in our womb. In our womb? It created our form in the womb. It's the first thing to be formed. And that fascia holds stress patterns. Think of the middle part of your back, for example. Think how we move the top part of our back, sometimes the lower part of our back quite frequently, but not so much the middle part of our back. And you'll experience through the practice of yin and yoga too. So yin has a Chinese origin. We'll go into that in more detail. Yoga, Indian, Raja, Hatha yoga, Indian tradition. Moving this part of our back can feel incredibly tight. You can almost feel the fascia stretching. We're creating little tears in that fascia. And with that, we create hydration. Not only hydration, but we are releasing emotion and tension. Pigeon, if that's a pose that you know, you may have heard in yoga classes, or you may have seen, or you may have experienced a release of emotion, because we tend to hold a lot of emotion in our hips. The body keeps the score. So processing, absolutely amazing way of doing it is practicing yoga and breath work. As I touched on, coming into the present, yoga and breath work, that building of interoception, the grounding of mind into the body. It is so hard in today's world to stay in the present, and you may or may not have read into the power of what being in the present is. That awareness, that gap between thinking, that quietness. It can be tricky to achieve or to notice or to find it, but yoga and breath work, it does it for you. You don't have to think. That's the beauty of it. You come into your body. It's a training as well, so the more that you do come to your mat, your body will just know. Your mind will just know. It will go, haha, I know where I am. Boom. And you'll be in the present. So there are so many extraordinary benefits. Your immune system, processing of emotions, coming into the present, building flexibility between mind and body, and also in mind and body. Mind, body, and spirit, making us more resilient, building strength, as I talked about in the previous video. All of these are benefits of yoga and of breathwork. The releasing of tension, as I touched on, with the more oxygen that flows around our body, and recovery, which is so key. If we do little, less is more, as is often the way, but a little bit of yoga and breath work each week, a little bit of simple breathing each day, a little bit of effortless rest each week, which is a blissful form of nothingness. A simple lying is an effortless rest. That can be enough to rebalance the systems of our body, enable the systems of our body and mind to recover. Again, a training, a teaching that our default mode doesn't have to be wired, doesn't have to be a very high frequency. High frequency of energy can sometimes be amazing. It's that resonance. But too much of it with a negative narrative can be very, very overburdening. It can be overwhelming, and it can chip slowly away at the systems of our body, at our well-being, at our whole human health. Whereas yoga and breath work, what it's doing is it's boosting our well-being. It is boosting our whole human health. It is enabling us to recover. It is enabling us to build that resilience where we are better able to manage the day-to-day stresses that are a reality in the world that we live in today, to help us also reframe some of those stresses as well, because it gives us a moment to pause, to find pause in our thinking, where everything can become too much and we're not able to make rational decisions. So there you go. You can see how passionate I am about the benefits of yoga and breathwork, and I've only touched on a few. We'll go into much more detail, but I thought I'd just give you a little taster.